Sometimes the quietest minds are the loudest in clarity. Hey Sigma ladies, listen closely. Have you ever walked into a room, scanned every corner, and felt the urge to disappear before the conversation even begins? You're not afraid. You're not shy. You're overloaded. That's not social anxiety. It's your internal radar screaming, "This energy is off." Most people don't get it. They confuse your silence with insecurity, your distance with disinterest. But Sigma females, we know better. We carry a sixth sense, a power most people can't even name. We don't crave the spotlight. We crave truth, peace, alignment. And when the vibe's off, we vanish. Today, we're breaking down all the things they label as weird, awkward, or anxious. But in reality, they're just signs of a powerful system pushed to the edge. If you're a Sigma lady who's tired of being misread, this is your decoding session. And if you ride with this vibe, smash that subscribe button to join this unfiltered, real-as-hell community of high-frequency women who don't play by social rules. We write our own. Want to support this mission? Tap the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description or first pinned comment. Your support helps fuel the content, the coffee, and the clarity. Let's start peeling the labels. 1. The exit scanner mode. You walk into a social space, maybe a gathering, a work event, a birthday party, and before your brain even processes faces, it's already done a full security sweep. Door here, window there, quiet corner, noted. Your body doesn't feel threatened exactly, but your system is running a background scan. This isn't about fear, it's about energetic logistics. Sigma females have a deeply embedded need to control their output. We don't just show up to be seen, we show up to navigate. Our energy is premium grade, and we don't spend it without a plan. So we instinctively map the exits, mark the quiet zones, prepare for retreat. Not because we expect disaster, but because we protect our peace like treasure. What looks like standoffishness to others is really us saying, "I'm here, but I won't stay where I don't feel sovereign." It's not social anxiety, it's spatial awareness, on steroids. Even in friendly gatherings, we're measuring our stay like we're calculating oxygen in a tank. We don't do chaos without an exit. We don't tolerate overexposure. And we sure as hell don't owe anyone explanations for leaving early. When Sigma females scan the exits, they're not being dramatic. They're preserving energy for something bigger than small talk: alignment, purpose, creativity, rest. So the next time someone says, "Why are you always planning your escape?" tell them, "Because I know what overstaying costs me." 2. The blank stare. Defense. You're in a conversation and mid-sentence, your eyes glaze over. It's not that you're bored, it's that your brain just hits sensory limit. The noise, the fake laughs, the layered intentions, your mental firewall kicks in. That blank stare, it's the Sigma version of a system overload screen. You're not zoning out, you're zoning in. On what? On everything. The unspoken tension, the emotional undercurrents, the sharp tones, the subtle sarcasm masked as humor. You're catching so much more than what's being said, and your face goes blank because you're in analysis mode. The world reads your stillness as social awkwardness, but what they don't realize is that Sigma females process reality in layers. We see the coded language, hear what's unsaid, sense the unbalanced frequencies. And when it gets too much, we shut the channel temporarily. That stare is not emptiness, it's full system recalibration. We're not avoiding connection, we're protecting integrity. A Sigma woman's mind doesn't do shallow engagement. We're not here to react. We're here to understand, and sometimes that understanding demands a moment of stillness. So when the room gets loud, the talk gets fake, and your eyes drift into the void, don't apologize. You're not absent, you're protecting presence. 3. The delay in reaction syndrome. Someone cracks a joke. Everyone laughs. You don't, not immediately. You're not slow, You're scanning. Who told the joke? What was the intent? Was there a power play behind it? Is it truly funny, or just socially required laughter? This is what it means to be a high-processing Sigma. We don't react on impulse, we respond with deliberation. Every piece of input has to go through a high-speed, multi-level filter. Logic, energy, tone, meaning, consequence. That delay isn't hesitation, it's data processing. Most people respond for approval. We respond for accuracy. Our delayed laughter, slow responses, even quiet pauses, they're not glitches. They're the evidence of depth. We're not laughing to fit in. We're decoding whether we should. The world rushes. Sigma females pause. Because we know that our response is currency, and we never waste it on something unworthy. So when people say, "You're so slow to react," tell them, "No, I'm just unwilling to fake it." The ghosting ritual. 1 minute you're active, liking posts, replying to texts, being present. Then, poof, you vanish. No announcement, no explanation. Radio silence. People call it rude. We call it soul rehab. Sigma females ghost not to hurt, but to heal. We live in a world that demands constant access. Respond now, share more, stay visible. But that level of exposure drains us fast. Our minds are sensitive to clutter. Our hearts burn out when stretched too thin. Ghosting isn't rejection, it's recovery. We don't disappear because we don't care. We disappear because we feel too much. That moment of silence, that's the moment we're breathing again. Social media, texts, invitations, they're all noise unless they're rooted in something real. And when the noise gets too loud, we hit mute. This ritual is sacred. It's not cold, it's self-honoring. Sigma females ghost not to erase people, but to find ourselves again. And when we reappear, we're not apologizing. We've returned because we're ready, not because we were pressured. 5. The too quiet label. You walk into a room, take your seat and say nothing. Hours pass. People whisper, "She's so quiet," like it's a diagnosis. But what they don't understand is that your silence is strategy, not absence. Sigma females don't speak to fill gaps. We speak to shift the energy. If the room is buzzing with shallow chatter, we withdraw. Why? Because we don't operate on noise. We operate on depth. People mistake quiet for passive, but it's the opposite. It's precision. While others try to impress, a Sigma female observes. Who's lying? Who's fronting? Who's truly grounded? She knows. She always knows. We've been told since childhood to speak up, as if our worth depends on volume. But Sigma women know something better. When we speak less, our words carry more weight. Silence isn't a void, it's a vault. When we finally open it, the room shifts. People listen differently, because every word is chosen, every sentence is sharp. And we don't chase reactions, we command resonance. So if they say you're too quiet, smile, because silence is your edge. Your silence doesn't mean you're not participating, it means you're filtering the signal from the noise. Remember, not every room deserves your voice. Some only deserve your silence. 6. The no eye contact protocol. You're having a conversation and you glance away. People say, "Look at me when I'm talking." But they don't realize. For Sigma females, eye contact is not casual. It's an energetic handshake, and we don't shake hands without reading the field first. Maintaining eye contact isn't about respect for us, it's about intimacy. Real, raw, sometimes overwhelming intimacy. When we look someone in the eyes, we don't just see them, we absorb them. Every flicker, every shift, every micro-expression, it all floods our system. We read too much, feel too much, and if we're not prepared, it hits like static. So yes, we look away. Not to disconnect, but to stay balanced. Looking someone in the eye is permission, and most people, they haven't earned it. We don't offer our gaze freely because we know the power it carries. A Sigma female's eyes don't just see, they penetrate, and not everyone can handle that. When we avoid eye contact, it's not fear, it's filtering. And when we give it, it's because the moment is real, the space is safe, and the energy is aligned. Never apologize for guarding your gaze. Your eyes are a portal. Treat them like one. 7. The scheduled vanish point. Before you even arrive at the event, you know exactly when you're leaving. You've mapped it out, how long you'll stay, when you'll start the wind down, and what excuse you'll use if someone pushes. This isn't manipulation, it's survival planning. Sigma females run on internal clocks, and when we hit our limit, that's it. There's no pushing through, there's no faking it, there's just the countdown. We know our energy budget. We know when the conversation turns stale, when the room starts to blur, when our tolerance for small talk hits zero. So we prepare in advance. We rehearse our exit, clear our path, and disappear exactly on time. People might call it flaky, but we call it precision boundary management. We don't apologize for honoring the vanish point. We celebrate it. Because it means we're listening to our internal rhythm, not the crowd's expectations. Every social event has a tipping point for a Sigma female. The moment where staying becomes draining, and the difference between burnout and balance is knowing when to leave. So when you sneak out early, no guilt. You didn't flake. You protected your frequency. 8. The social hangover. The event ended yesterday, but you still feel it in your bones. Your energy's low. Your mind is foggy. You can't seem to reboot. That's not laziness. That's a social hangover. Sigma females don't just attend social events. We absorb them. We take in every emotion, every unspoken thought, every tension in the air. While others walk away feeling energized, we walk away feeling like we've been through an emotional war zone. Why? Because we don't half show up. Even when quiet, we're fully present, fully alert, and that presence costs us. The social hangover hits when the external demand exceeds our internal reserve. You can't fake recharge with a nap or a snack. You need solitude, stillness, time to drain the static from your system. Sometimes it lasts hours, sometimes days. That doesn't mean you're fragile. It means you're energetically advanced. Your nervous system picks up what others ignore, and you pay the price for sensing what's under the surface. So when you cancel plans the day after a big event, you're not being dramatic. You're just recovering from energetic extraction. Social hangovers are real, and if you're a Sigma female, you've probably been living with them your whole life without having the words. Now you do. 9. The room vibe audit. Before you even take your coat off, your system has already scanned the whole room. You know who's dominating the space, who's hiding behind laughter, who's secretly pissed, and who's not as confident as they pretend. This isn't mind reading, it's emotional radar. Sigma females walk into a room and feel it before they analyze it. The air might be filled with laughter, but your gut knows that's not joy, that's deflection. That smile over there, forced. That hug, performative. The real tension is happening 2 tables away where no one's looking. You don't listen to what people say. You listen to the gaps in their words. You don't just feel energy, you decode it. This constant auditing isn't something you turn on. It's always running. And while others think you're just standing quietly, you're mapping the landscape like a general on a battlefield. People call you intense, but intensity is just clarity turned up loud. You don't guess, you sense, and you don't need people to open up. Their energy already told you everything. That's why you're drained after a room full of people. It's not the conversation, it's the constant empathic data download. You're not being judgmental, you're just calibrated to detect truth beneath performance. You don't trust first impressions, you trust frequency patterns, and 9 times out of 10, you're right. Because a Sigma female doesn't just walk into a room, she reads it like a book. 10. The unspoken contract. You walk into a social space, and suddenly, without anyone saying it, you feel the pressure. Smile, nod, respond, react, be on. You never signed this contract, but somehow it's expected of you. Sigma females reject invisible obligations. We don't do fake engagement, we don't perform politeness, and we sure as hell don't pretend to be okay just because someone else can't handle our silence. There's a script society hands you in social situations. Smile when spoken to. Respond quickly. Be interesting, but not intense. But here's the thing. Sigma women don't follow scripts. We create our own dialogue. When we feel that unspoken pressure to be on, we instantly resist. Not because we're rebellious, but because our authenticity is non-negotiable. We won't fake interest. We won't laugh on cue. And if the vibe's off, we'll go quiet. Not out of rudeness, but out of respect for ourselves. People think you're difficult, but what you really are is unavailable for performance-based validation. You're not here to entertain. You're here to be real or gone. And if someone can't handle that, they can keep their script. You'll write your own reality. 11. The inner conversation loop. While someone's talking to you, you're not just listening, you're debating, deconstructing, and dissecting everything in real time. Your outer face might look calm, but your inner world is a storm of strategy. Sigma females run multiple conversations at once, most of them internal. Every word someone says triggers an evaluation. What's their intent? Are they consistent? Do their values match their actions? You're not looking for flaws, you're searching for alignment, and it doesn't stop there. You're also analyzing your own response. Should I tell the truth? Should I hold back? What are the consequences if I speak too plainly? It's not overthinking, it's multi-layered cognition. This inner loop means you sometimes pause before you speak, or say less, or circle back to a point others already moved past. That's not distraction, that's depth management. Your mind isn't noisy, it's strategic. It runs simulations before you respond. It replays tones, it challenges assumptions. And while others may mistake your quiet for disengagement, you're actually the most present person in the room, just not externally. Internally, you're 12 steps ahead. That's why Sigma females often feel misunderstood. We're conversing on a deeper frequency than the surface-level chatter around us. You're not quiet. You're just running a higher program. 12. The loud room shut down. The music is blasting, people are shouting, glasses clink, lights flash. Most people are laughing, dancing, talking louder to match the volume. You feel like you're suffocating. It's not social anxiety, it's energetic shutdown. Sigma females are high-input systems. Loud environments don't just annoy us, they overwhelm our entire nervous system. We don't thrive in chaos, we short-circuit. The sound doesn't just hit our ears, it hits our core. The flashing lights don't just distract, they fracture focus. When the room is too loud, too bright, too chaotic, we shut down. Not because we're weak, but because we're wired differently. We absorb everything. So when everything's happening all at once, we go into power save mode. You might zone out, get quiet, withdraw to a corner. People ask, "Are you okay?" And you nod, even though what you really need is silence, darkness, and space. Sigma females are at their best in curated energy fields, not chaos chambers. And the louder the room, the more we disappear. So if you leave the party early, or step outside alone, or sit in silence while everyone else is shouting, that's not weird. That's self-preservation. You're not antisocial. You're just allergic to unfiltered noise. So, Sigma ladies, if any of this hit that nerve behind your eyes, that quiet space in your chest that says, "Finally, someone gets it," then you already know you're not broken, you're not antisocial, you're just running on a frequency too sharp for shallow spaces. You've spent years being mislabeled, misread, misunderstood. But here, in this space, you're seen, fully, loudly, even in silence. You don't owe the world constant access. You don't have to explain your exits, your pauses, your shutdowns. You are not built to entertain. You're built to elevate. And every time you choose solitude over chaos, depth over noise, truth over comfort, you're doing what Sigma females do best, protecting the signal. So before you go, here's your checklist. Trust your energy radar. Exit early if the vibe's off. Let the silence speak. And never trade your power for performance. If you felt seen today, subscribe to The Sigma Lady. This isn't a channel. It's a code space for women who don't just think different. We operate on an entirely different frequency. And if you want to keep this space running strong, support the mission. Hit that Buy Me a Coffee link. It's right there in the description and the first pinned comment. You're not just funding caffeine. You're fueling content that gets you. Until next time, stay strange, stay sovereign, stay unapologetically off script. This is The Sigma Lady, logging off.